Showtime, go time. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It is the chat with Cat. Look, I had to do some changes. There is another chat with Cat out there, so I had to do some changes, and I know I researched that, right? But anywho, I had to do some changes. A chat with Cat and friends. I'm so thankful that you're joining us on tonight. I'm so looking forward to speaking to my awesome guest. Hey, I'm so looking forward to speaking to my awesome guest. CTspeaks, Catherine Trotter is with us tonight. Business strategist, elite. But I call her elite. There are so many. I have so many friends and family who are in business and have the same expertise and more or less or whatever the case may be. But she is so awesome, my business coach right now. And I look, I can't wait till everything comes to full fruition for me. But she is helping me and a bunch of other sisters that I know of. We are so tight. Hey Peggy, we are so tight with just supporting one another. And she is a wonderful, wonderful connection and sister queen to me. And I know to everybody that she comes in contact with, there's a wealth of information that she has and may not be able to impart to you today. All of it today, she will not be able to. So if you'd like to schedule with her, her information will be posted under this episode of the chat with Cat and Friends. Her contact information and all those things will be available. I pray that everyone is having a good night, a good day. It is Monday, March 29th. We're headed into the month of April. We're headed into the month of April. So look, I'm gonna do early bird shout outs because I won't be on April 1st for the first day of April. So early bird birthday shout outs to my mom. Her birthday is April 6th. I have an uncle, my uncle Andre. His birthday is also April 6th. And everybody else, let me see. I'm missing somebody. It's a few people that I do know of whose birthdays are in April and coming up. Happy birthdays to each and every one of you. Happy anniversary and milestone to everybody who is like just going. You're going forward. And if something's happened and you tripped out, hey, start all over. It's never too late to start again. This station, this channel is all about inspiration and what empowerment and all of those great and wonderful things. We want to showcase and highlight the Black excellence right here, not necessarily always in Baltimore, Maryland. There is a bunch of great and wonderful, talented people that are here. Look, I'm pulling from pools from everywhere. And I'm just so thankful and so proud of the strives that we've made, a wave that has been paid for us to be where we are on today. I pray, look, that you earnestly give thanks to God for those things as well. It is almost the ending of Women's History Month, the notable calendar mark of it, but we're still blazing trails and making things happen as women. And I'm so proud to be a Black woman. I'm so proud to just be Black and all of those things. I'm just proud. I'm just proud of myself. And that is a place that I haven't been all my life. So I'm so thankful for transformation of my mind, my mindset, my goals, and coming to a knowledge of who I am and awareness of who I am. I pray that you come to that place. If you are not there yet, that you get there, and prayerfully like situations such as this where we can sit and talk and kind of glean from one another will help to usher that kind of presence and that spirit or mindset inside of you, that look, that your wheels get turning, that you become proud, that you come to know that it's not all what everybody, all this and who this person and that person has to say. There is some light, there is some joy. There are those of us who do come together and commune with one another for the good and benefit of community, of culture, of our families, right? There's a love, a sisterhood, a brotherhood that just goes, and it is present. So look, without further ado, thank you everybody for checking in with us. Stay for the whole time if you can, in and out, whatever the case may be. You are welcome, and we are so glad to have you. I'm going to welcome, look, once again, Catherine Trotter with us on tonight. Without further ado, thank you so much, Catherine, for joining us. Hey,
Thank you for
Queen.
having me. Hey, Queen.
It is awesome. Look, and we met we met because I had the astute pleasure. Thank you so much, Peggy, for inviting me of joining the platform that you had last month. I want to say it was last month when Queens Meet. Yep,
Yeah.
when Queens Meet. And I was invited, like I want to say the same day of it. I know it had been something you have been putting together, and I'm so thankful because let me tell you, once upon a time, I'd have been like, nope, if they ain't called, if I wasn't invited last week or when it first started, I would have had all of these things playing in my mind, telling me, no, girl, no, you don't need to be there. You don't have to hear anything that anybody else has to say. You doing your own thing. Those are the kind of and I know I'm not the only one, but those are the kind
Mhm.
of things that take place. So I am so blessed and fortunate to have had the opportunity to meet you and meet all of the other queens that were there. Hey, hey, Peggy saying hi.
Hey.
And and all the other queens that were there. So tell us about yourself, Catherine. CT Speaks. I love you, girl. I love you. I'm inspired by you each and every time we connect.
Thank you so much. First, I want to give some blessings to your way too. And one of the things that I immediately connected with when we first met by way of Miss Peggy was your energy, right? Because sometimes when you're building a business, you need to connect with like-minded people, but also people that have this infectious energy that says, you know what, we may have some challenges, but despite the challenges, we're going to move forward. So I say peace and blessings to you and all that you're doing with this show and all of your other entrepreneurial journey.
Thank
So
you. I appreciate it.
a little bit about myself. So my journey started when I was 22, when I started my first nonprofit organization, House of New Beginnings, where our primary focus was to really speak life to youth and young adults, youth in the community, educating them about career development, financial literacy, and then also dealing with the internal, right? That the things that they may have gone through, but may not have had anyone to really be authentic with, take off their mask and just say,
Yeah.
look, this is what's going on. How do I get through this? Because we have sessions called Let's Just Talk About It. And in those sessions, there's nothing off the table. You know, they can be honest, they can be transparent, because I think a lot of times if you don't meet them where they are and allow them to be transparent, they're going to go to some source to get their information or guidance.
Right.
So why not within our group? So that's how we started and why we started. Then as the years progressed, there were other individuals that was asking assistance from me around strategic planning, putting together business plans, and that's just something that naturally comes to me. So the year officially when I started my consulting business was in 2007, and I'm always happy to say my very first client from 2007, we're still connected to this day. And I say that because when I work with someone, it's a relationship that we're building. It's not just a client I'm checking off the list.
Right. That's awesome. Wow. Look, such humble beginnings. It's like, look, we're going to put this together. We're going to sow into the youth in our community. We're going to answer some questions. And that's just awesome. That you weren't even seeking to, be this big, huge source of information and resource. It's just awesome. Hey, it's just awesome. So, tell us a little bit about CT Strategy Solutions. How did you come up with that name,
Mhm.
CTR? Am I saying it right?
Strategy solutions, there it is.
Yes. Yes. So, how did you come up with your name? Where did it come from? And you said, and your initial beginning. I'm sorry, your initial beginning.
Yes. So because of the main thing that I do is strategize, like I always tell people, if you think about a puzzle, right? You got a puzzle, you got all these pieces all over the place. And in order to put it together, you got to make sure all the pieces interconnect, right? So I feel like that's what happens all the time when I'm working with someone. They bring to me their puzzle pieces. It's all scattered. And one of the biggest things that I do is help them to connect it together. And that's a strategy, right? And so that's why strategy is a part of it in solutions, because sometimes you can have a strategy but don't know how to execute it. So when I work with someone, we come up with the strategy, but the solution also on how to execute it.
Wow. You know what?
Catherine Trotter, R is for relentless.
Okay. Wow. Relentless. I love that word. I love that word. It just speaks to the effort that you put in. It's like I'm putting in my all. She's going forward and working in partnership with you to reach whatever goals that you have. That's what I've learned along the way, and I'm learning with other people, so that's just great. I am just wow. Just wow, because you said when people come to you, it's like a puzzle. You bring your
Mhm.
puzzle pieces. So, hey, Miss Drake. So I pray that you guys are getting this. It's a puzzle, right? You have all of these, and that's how I am. That's how like many of us were that night
Mhm.
on When Queens Meet, that night when we all got together.
Mhm.
Just having so many things, and sometimes, some instances, you may feel overwhelmed. You may feel like,
Mhm.
well, it's too much, or there's no way that they connect. And that's what you do. You bring it all together, and it's like, hey, you make it work. It's like, we didn't look at this, or how can we put this together? Look, definitely like a puzzle. I love how your analogy and how you put that together. So it's very relative to
Mhm.
everybody and everything, right? Just
Yeah.
bridging the gap and bringing everything together. So, what are some? Can you share with us like some starter tips
Mhm.
that? Well, I really wanted to get into what are some things. What are some pitfalls like that starters often make that
Mhm.
you pick up on right away? That's like quick and simple. We don't have a whole
Yeah.
drawn out period of
Mhm.
time to talk to you guys. So just some things like really quick that's like
Yeah.
right off the top of my head, I can tell you that try not to do this and don't do that, any of those things.
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I would say try not to do it all in the beginning. This is what I'm talking about. You know, like when you go to a buffet, it's so many different options, right? Sometimes we start our business like a buffet. We trying to offer too many things and we don't have our foundation laid. So I
Okay.
would say when you're starting your business, think of the first maybe 1 to 2 staple services or products that you want to offer, and make sure you have a solid foundation before turning it into a buffet. And I know we like to eat, so that's why I'm using the analogy with the buffet, because you
Right.
can visualize that, right?
Uh-huh.
Um,
Right.
and sometimes when you put too many things on your plate in the very beginning, before you have your strong foundation, the business is wobbly, right? So that would be my first thing I would suggest. My second thing I would suggest is to make sure that you have a business plan, because your business plan is your roadmap. So if you have a business and don't have a business plan, it's kind of like you shadow boxing, right? You know, things are coming at you with your business,
Right.
but you don't know really where it's coming. And so if you
Right.
operate a business without a business plan, you shadow boxing with the unknown, right? And so having a business plan really kind of gives you that pathway to God. Now we know in life things are going to happen, the unexpected, but at least you have a roadmap that you can follow.
Awesome. So I hope you guys got that. What I heard was you might have a lot of things. Don't be too dismayed about having a lot of things because we can work with it, but just start with those things, that you can, whatever you want to start with, just minimize it and start down, start lower instead of the 10. Yes, you're great and masterful at all of these things, but let's start. So bring it down a little bit. Not no. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
love. Like, no, I didn't say no. Don't go into this area or that area, but just, taper it down a little bit. And I also heard you say that when it's like a wait a minute, because I'm getting lost. But I
Come on, like a
also heard
buffet.
yes, I'm like, wait a minute, she said the eating. You also said that it's like a buffet, and in that manner, you don't want to put everything on all at once. But
Mm-hmm.
what I really love about that is that it's not telling yourself that you can't do it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
giving you time. And then you know what? And on that road, because what I'm learning, because this is the advice that you've given me, that you gave to us. So I do understand that and had to fall back and be like, okay, let me see, and really think about what it is that you're doing in the pathway that you're trying to carve out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and as you do that with one area, what I found is that it kind of helps you relax a little bit and then open up to the other areas as well and kind of deal with them as they come. No, the part that you said about shadow boxing and having a business plan, because I am one who was like, I don't need a business plan. I'm gonna just do what I do because I'm good at doing what I do and I know what I know. That's how I felt. And I know I'm not the only one. I'll be the only one today, right now, to admit that. But that's how you feel, especially when it's so natural. Just as you said, business strategizing is a natural thing for you. So it could be
Mhm.
easy to pick up and help everybody, whoever calls and wants your time and your, your expertise. It's very easy to say, oh, okay, I'm gonna give, because I do this, right?
Right.
So that's what I heard you say. Don't, have a plan, have a foundation. Don't shadow box because although unknowns will happen, you can like regain your composure after
Right.
whatever that spike is or whatever. You can regain your
Mhm.
composure if you have a roadmap. If you have
Yeah.
a roadmap. So what are some things that you commonly see? Are those like the most common pitfalls that you see that people go through or have, in starting a business? Kind of
Yes,
just
because, I mean, because if an individual were to come to me and they, and again, I think you said it perfectly. It's not saying that you can't add those things over time. You may have a list of things you want to do. You may be multi-talented, right? So it's not saying that you can't grow and evolve. But if you don't have the foundation, what I've seen more often than not is that if you're trying to start every component of the business at this first, in the very beginning, and you don't have your foundation, one, you're going to get tired, you're going to get stressed out, you're going to get stretched too thin. And if anybody that's an entrepreneur, if you're stretched thin, you're not doing your business any good. You're not properly servicing your clients because you're stretched too thin. And if you're stretched too thin, your capacity in which you're able to offer value diminishes.
I'm sorry. Your
Mm-hmm.
value diminishes. I heard you. I heard you definitely. I was reading one of the
Comments.
questions Miss Drake put up. She's trying to start a little something something, but how do I put myself out there to let people know I'm legit?
That's a very good question. What I would suggest is, one, you want to make sure, it depends on which route you want to go. Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Are you going to be an LLC? You want to make sure whatever state you might be in, you have your affairs in order with the state building. So let's take this as an example. If you wanted to become an LLC, you want to make sure your paperwork has been submitted. You want to get your EIN. You want to open up your business bank account. And all of these things are within a budget that a person starting out can afford. And then a website, Wix.com, is very user friendly. I know it's GoDaddy out there. Get a website set up. I know with Wix, it probably about $40 can get you started with your domain, your hosting. If you want to get some marketing materials, you can use canva.com. They have a free site where you can design your brochures, your flyers. So I get it. When you're just in the beginning phases, you may not have a ton up front financial wise. But just use the means you do have, and then there are resources that you can stretch your dollar that either is no cost, like canva.com to design your material, or to places like wix.com where it's a cost, but it's very affordable. So I would say you want to make sure your business affairs are in order, because when you present yourself in that fashion, people will take you serious.
Okay, that's awesome. Miss Drake, I pray that answered your question a little bit. But being able to be taken seriously, have your website. If you don't have a website just yet, first and foremost, have your paper. Decide whether you want to be an LLC, a sole proprietorship, or whatever the case may be, incorporated, however that is. And that's what I'm working on right now. But make sure that you like start there, because those things kind of come together to solidify that you are legitimate, that you are
Mhm.
real, that you are and this is what I heard you say, that you are, that you are doing and providing the
Mhm.
services that you said you're going to provide. And it's noted. It's noted somewhere. The
Mhm.
state knows, you're
Mhm.
held to some kind of accountable measure other than yourself. Well, that's awesome. And
Mhm.
I pray that if anybody else has, and you're welcome, anybody else has any questions, that you post them up. We'll try to get to them throughout the episode, throughout the interview.
Mhm.
Um, or any comments, we will post up. I will post up Catherine's contact information as well. Will be posted with this interview. Her contact information, email, website. And look, speaking of your contact information, tell us a little bit, and this somewhat has to do with that, but tell us a little bit about you authoring this book that you have that's
Mhm.
out. Can you down a little bit on what it's about, what it's about, the teaching, and then you have another volume. Just tell us about it. Tell us about your book.
Absolutely. So my first book that I published is called Community Engagement from Concept to Implementation, 8 Steps to Unlocking Your Creative Ideas. I published that book back in 2014 for the number one purpose. A lot of my clients had common core questions. So I said, you know what, it might make it easier if I put it into a book of 8 steps that we all can follow. And I turned those 8 steps into a 6-week curriculum, into audio files, because everybody learns and studies differently. And so those 8 steps talk about how do you take your initial idea, how do you create your team, how do you create your board, how do you create your proposals, right? How do you market your concept in a community or in your geographical region and no one knows you exist because you're in the very beginning phases? We talk about community mapping, how to chart out where you're going to market your business, and how do you do that? How do you execute on it? So that's the first book. The second book, which is more interpersonal, is called Metamorphosis Shadow. I'm coming out with the 2021 edition this summer in June. Metamorphosis Shadow talks about walking out of the shadows of your past and walking into your destiny. You know, I went through a lot of things in my life, through depression, anxiety, and just being able to be transparent and real about it, you know, is a big thing, especially as an entrepreneur. It's like you have to, you know, maybe put on this shield that everything's been perfect, or what have you, which is not reality. And so being whole within oneself is also going to reflect in your business, right? So in that book, it walks a person through how to take off the multiple masks and become your authentic self.
Wow. You know what? That is so, it's so relevant. Hey, Tiff, it's so relevant to us just as people. But speaking specifically to women, because we are women, but speaking specifically for on behalf of myself and women just in general, because we do so much. We wear so many hats, and it's like we're so used to just going with the flow, and not really tending to those places that, like, rightfully so, need to be healed or need to be transformed or need that attention. We don't pay attention to it. We don't pay attention to it because it's a thing and it's hard. You know, we can look at it and feel like it's hard, or it's just too much, or it's not necessary because I've done this, that, and the other, and I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I think it's just awesome and spectacular for you to see that there is a need. Notice that there is a need, even within yourself, even if that was the own personal driver, but being so willing to be open and transparent about it, in so much as to write a book. Because one of the things that I've come to realize in getting older, having experienced some life, and additionally, right, is that I'm not alone. Whereas in one state of my being, like through my teenage years up until I don't know, my late 20s, probably feeling like I'm alone. You know, I'm alone in whatever it is that I'm doing, that I'm feeling. I'm alone in how I'm being impacted, what it means to me, and all of these things, my perspectives, everything. So feeling that, and knowing that other people feel that now I've come to a realization of that. But having gone through that, it's just breathtaking to know and to feel, you know, to understand that, hey, you're not by yourself. You know, you're not by yourself. You're not alone. I understand there is a mask that we wear, and people might not relate to it in that way, but to just simply say there are things that are covered. There's layers that we just keep covering up, you know, and understanding that everything is consumed by that, whether we overlook it or whatever. Everything works better, or works how it works, because of where we are in that thing. It could be working good, it could be working the best that it can, you know, even considering that, or it can not be working at all. But to realize that, pinpoint it, and try to transform it in some way. And that's what I love about what you just explained about metamorphosis. I can't wait for it to come out. is that it teaches us. It has a way. It's going to, what you're explaining is going to have a way of teaching us that we can be transformed even from those things, and um we hear all the time, and it might be cliche for some to say, um I am not my problem, or,
Mhm.
just because this one did it, to let go of, the past hurts and all of those things. But it's something else to be able to read it, to sit down with it, to have it with you, like kind of marinate on it. So we won't continue on in that vein, but just to say that it's an awesome thing that you charted in doing, such a revelation type thing and revealing of yourself in a transparent manner. Hey, Miss Drake, she had a question.
Mhm.
Miss Drake had said, I would love to know more. How can I go about that? So we're going to provide Catherine's information, Miss Drake, for you. Will be available. She'll um make it available to you. Know what, Catherine, let us know really quickly, and
Mhm.
we'll do it now, and I'll also post it in the channel itself. I'll also post your
Mhm.
information, so if you are just getting on or someone comes on later, information will be posted on this video, on this episode, so that you will be able to contact Catherine with the contact information she provides. How can we get in touch with you, Catherine, for business information, business strategy, and everything business, anything that you have to offer, your books and all that? Let us know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you can send me an email at ctctrategysolutions.com. Again, that's ctctrategysolutions.com. My website is www.catherinetrotter.com, and that's CATHERINETROTTER. And I'm going to give my toll-free number because different people may be in different locations. It's 1-800-306-3140. Again, that's 1-800-306-3140, and it will come direct to me. And again, the email is ct@catherinetrotter.com.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll post that information on this episode so that it's easily locatable, and you can pinpoint whatever get in touch with Catherine, however your best mode of communication is with her. We already kind of went over it a little bit, but can you share with us? And I had questions. We kind of went through them. But can you kind of share with us, like, if I'm going to just say a business, if I was trying to, I don't know. Now, I'll talk about me. So I want to start a nonprofit. What are some beginning tools and measures that you would have for me to take in starting a nonprofit? If anyone else, really quickly, I'm sorry, Catherine, before you begin,
Mhm.
if anyone else really quickly would have any questions toward that measure, or any questions, please feel free to post them up, and we'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. So for nonprofits, how would you suggest, or what would be your advice for initial strategy?
So you definitely have to get incorporated. I'm gonna use Maryland for this scenario. So let's say you're in the state of Maryland. SDAT, Maryland Business Express. Right now, the building, you can't physically go in there because of COVID. Everything is being done right online. So you would complete the Maryland non-stop tax exempt. And I want to clarify that because a lot of people that have come to me have filled out an LLC and they said they wanted to get their 501c3. You can't, LLC is for profit. You have to make sure
Okay,
you're selecting the right one when you go on a Maryland Business
taking
Express.
notes. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. You want to make sure you select the nonstop tax exempt tab. It's a tab when you actually set up your account on the Maryland Business Express, and it's a drop down tab that'll ask you what type of formation do you want to form. So you want to make sure you click on that specific one. Here's another thing, with a nonprofit, you're going to have board of directors, because eventually you're going to have to complete the 1023 application that gets sent off to the IRS. But that can't even happen unless you're official with the state that you're in. Now, when that time does come, you have to have a minimum of 3 board members. So that's you plus 2 other individuals. So you want to be thinking about, who do you want on your board? Of course, you want someone that you trust. You want someone that's going to be hands-on. You want someone that's not just going to be listed on the bylaws, because again, that's something that has to be signed. I want to speak on that really quickly. The bylaws are the governing document between you and your board of directors. So when you get ready to send off that 1023, it's a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need a 3-year projected budget. You're going to need a 3-year written narrative. The narrative spells out all the things your organization is going to be doing. And you need to have a signed copy of the bylaws. Now, the 1023 application itself, of course, has to be completed. And there are attachments that have to go along with that as well. Also, I want to mention, you got to make sure you have your EIN, right? So after you get registered in the state of Maryland, you want to get your EIN. But I want to pause on this also. You got to make sure when you're filling out the online application that you're selecting the right one. And I say this because clients will come, oh, I already got my EIN, but then I'll look at the IRS letter and they didn't choose the right one that was in accordance with the 501c3 that they want to get, right? And I had a client and we was on the phone with IRS, and I mean, it took months for things to get shifted around. So you want to make sure you're selecting the right one. All of it makes sense, because at the end of the day, if you're submitting and you desire to get your 501c3 tax exempt status, if your affairs are not in order on the state level, you didn't do it right when you got your EIN, it's going to play a role and an impact when you're trying to get your 501c3.
Wow. Okay. 413C, and EIN. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And the articles and all of that. Now, this information, is it best to have a consultation with you concerning all the things that I need? Like, how would I, as someone who's like, okay, I want to start something, or I want to do, I want a business. How do I get this information that you're just talking about, the declarations, the bylaws, and all of those things? How would I go about getting that information? How do I know that? Like, how would I know that? If I don't know you, how do I know that?
Well, I mean, a person can Google the information and make sure, and you can type in what are the steps to getting your 501c3. You just got to make sure that you follow the steps accordingly and make sure. Another thing I want to mention, a lot of times people will prematurely just go get their EIN and they think that they have a business. I had a client that came to me and said, oh yeah, I have a business. And we already have our EIN. I got my bank account open. I said, did you show them your bylaws or your articles of incorporation? No, I didn't have to show them anything. I said, you want to check because something doesn't sound right. Lo and behold, they didn't open up a business account, and because it was just their EIN. They never even got official in the state of Maryland. So I just want to because a lot of people come to me and they'll say, well, I got my EIN, which is no cost to get an EIN. You can get something like this quick online, but that does not make you an official business.
Okay. So when I go to open up my bank account, I should now, wow, this is something else, but I wonder why they didn't ask them for that.
But if you are a sole proprietor, that's different. If you are a sole proprietor, they don't need all those additional things. If you're a sole proprietor, because it's still attached to your social.
Okay. So that was the way that they went in, and they gave their social. So make sure that when you make your appointment to open up your business account, that you're opening a business account, and that will involve showing your articles, giving your EIN and that information right there, instead of your own personal social security number.
Now, if you're a sole proprietor, it's going to be okay. If you're just starting. So let me clarify. Let's say sometimes individuals may do like a trade name, right? They may have a trade name where they reserved it. But I always like to tell people, just because you reserved your name, it's still not official until you do your articles. You can get your trade name, you can get your EIN, and you can go open up a bank account as a sole proprietor. You can do that with just those two things, but that's not an incorporated entity. So I just want people to understand it is a difference.
Okay, got it. Now, see, Ms. Drake said, now, if I wanted to start a cooking or a daycare, are these the steps I have to take as well?
Well, no, it's cooking and daycare. Those are two. I'm going to take each one. Both of those is going to be two different steps. When you say start a cooking, is it a cooking show or Are you cooking for people and you're delivering the food? Because all of those kind of, it will determine. Definitely daycare, you're going to have a specific license to start a daycare. With any business you start, you're going to have to get incorporated unless, like I said, you're a sole proprietor. But with the cooking, I have a follow-up question. Are you going to just do a cooking show? Or are you cooking for people and you're going to be, they're going to be buying the food and it's edible? Because you want to make sure you're covered with insurance in case anyone sues. And that's on both sides, whether you're actually cooking and delivering or even if you're having a daycare. With either of those would not fall under a sole proprietor. You're going to need to get incorporated, and most likely under LLC structure, especially if you're talking about cooking and you're going to be delivering food and people are going to be consuming it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And once again, we'll have, like selling dinners. So once again, we'll have, so with the cooking, she's going to be selling dinners.
Yeah, you definitely want to cover and protect yourself. Limited liability. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to, I wouldn't take that sole proprietor route. Definitely not with that, because there's no shield and protection. I would highly suggest make sure you get an LLC structure set up, and you want to get business general liability insurance. And that's another thing for anybody that's in business. If you don't have general liability insurance, you are wide open for suits. So that's just a food for thought that I wanted to throw out there as well.
Okay. Awesome. This is great information. I pray that everybody is like reaching and either taking notes. I wrote down my note, and we're in conversation and right now as well. So I didn't have to write down as much today because some of this information, I have my business plan that I'm filling out right now and all of this stuff. So this is a wealth of information. If you guys have like more specific questions and things like that, Catherine's information will be posted on this interview on the Chat with Cat with Friends YouTube channel. This channel right here, with her information will be posted there. If you have more like specific questions that need more time, those questions can be asked contacting her by email on your website or by the 800 number that was provided, which will be posted as well. So you have your second book will be coming out, you said in July. Your second book will in June. Your second book, Metamorphosis, will be coming out in June. And that is also just helping those of us who are, just like we're all going through life. But that is a book that kind of helps us remove the mask and step out of the bog and the fog of all the stuff that we've been through. What we're going to look. I told somebody last what was it? I want to say it was probably last month sometime. They were like, "Oh, we met such and such time." I was like, "When was it?" If it was before the pandemic, and look, I done been traumatized. I done been panicked. I don't remember. Everything before that. I look, don't hold it against me. You not remember, because we have been through the ringer with a whole barrel of things. So it's all right, and we're going to come through. So this is one of the books that are available, or is going to be available for us to read, look, relax, and relate with. And coming out of a whole lot of things, many of the emotional scars and things like that we do carry. Let me see. She will be hearing from. Okay, she'll be hearing from you. Okay, Miss Drake will be reaching out to you concerning whatever other questions that she may have. And we're so thankful for your time on tonight. There is a 30-minute consultation. Catherine has offered up a 30-minute consultation, free consultation for you. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and hand one of those to you, Miss Drake. And there is one other. If there is anybody else who would like one, there are two 30-minute free consultations, business strategic consultations that are available. You can sit and talk, kind of pick Catherine's brain toward, whatever it is that you would like additional information on or help with. And then you can schedule with her, at your will, and maybe go deeper into some things where she can help you just lay the foundation and help you track through what it is that you need to do step by step, because this is what she does, and you do it oh so well. I'm so happy to have you here with us on tonight, giving us all of these great nuggets to help us start business, continue business, and to not be overwhelmed, because that's one thing you helped me to understand, even in our women's, our Queen Meet session, is to understand that, because other people were like, I have this, I have that, I have like all of these multiple things, and we're also multi-talented. Yes, indeed, yes, indeed, we are. And it isn't. And I think where I got stuck is, I feel like I have to do it all right now. I have to do everything that is in my mind and in my heart and soul and all that. I have to do it right now. And then it becomes overwhelming when you feel like you have to do everything right now. So having a business coach, someone like Catherine, right there to help coach you through, nope, take your time. You got time. Pace yourself, take smaller bites. You can do this. So it's an awesome expertise that you have, with helping people kind of muddle through. Is that the right word? Probably not. And forgive me, but
Because that's
to
how
help
it
me,
be sometimes.
right, to help me get through all of the things that I have in my mind. You guys, we're all so creative and never want to tell anybody, look, no, you shouldn't shine in that way. Oh, you know what? Let's just look at it from this way. What are you most what is your most greatest, the biggest attribute, or the biggest, what is the biggest part of your expertise? What is that surround left part there? That's what she helped me to learn, understand, and be comfortable with that. So that's awesome. Thank you, Catherine, so much for sharing with us on today. Miss Drake, it looks like she was the only one with questions for right now. We're still here, and we'll be here at least until 7. Is there any other sharing that you could do with us concerning like maybe some tips as to we already talked about pitfalls and what not to do, but if I have a great idea, like say I have um what is the big thing that I need to look out for if I want to maybe design shoes or design clothes? What are some of the things that I need to like stay away from, or what is the avenue that I should take? And I feel confident in asking her these questions, because she's so knowledgeable. And if she doesn't have the answer today, she's going to let me know when she does. So I feel very confident and asking you about any business really. But what are some things that, like, design wise, like, because there are people who, I'm designing this and I'm designing that. I can put, and you're great at it. Not saying that you're not, but what are some things that we need to keep in mind before we go forward with our designs and I don't know, whatever manufacturing things? What are some things that we need to be aware of?
So one thing you want to make sure, if you any kind of emblems or designs, I know sometimes people even have had issues where someone has literally copied their logo. You want to make sure you have your work protected. You want to have trademark in place, right? For anyone that has any kind of logo, anyone that has any kind of special design that's unique to your company, the question you have to ask yourself: do I have a trademark, right? I started something years ago, and I didn't know it was going to catch on fire the way that it did. And someone actually literally copied the logo and put it on their social media page. Now, I did reach out, in a very what I say, diplomatic way, and acknowledging, hey, anyway, they end up taking it down. But with that being said, I did retain an attorney. We're going through the whole process of making sure logo, the entity is covered, right? And I'm saying this story for a reason, because sometimes when you're starting something, it's your baby, it's your idea, but sometimes you may not see how big it may even take off. So I say to you, anyone that has a unique concept, a unique idea, it will take off. You just may not know the when, right? But it will. So you want to make sure you protect yourself from the beginning. And like I said, that's why I was sharing my personal story with that, because it happened to me. And a lot of times, like I said, sometimes we start things as a hobby, we're just kind of doing it here and there. But what's just a hobby to you, someone else out there that got their wheels turning, like they looking like, So just cover yourself and protect yourself. Make sure it's trademark.
Okay, make sure it's trademark. Our designs, our logos, things like that. I know, and I just asked that because I Google and I'm asking questions on how do I do this and what do I need for that and all of these things right here. But and having it trademarked and talking about copyright and all of those things did come up in the explanation of everything. So, and I know that there are people who are designing shirts, shoes, and things like that. So, and it's a big industry because there's a big need. Everyone wants to be clothed. Everyone wants to have shoes. And then if they're nice and, tailored nice and blinged out or whatever, it becomes the thing that, the go-to thing. You become the go-to person. So, let's be aware and have self-awareness, you guys. Look, we want to put it out there and make it known that you are trademarking your designs, whatever is the logos. Can you trademark a name? How does that work? Can you trademark, like, if have this really unique name that I don't want anybody else to use? How do you go about that? Is that a trademark thing or not trademark? I guess that might be copyright. I'm not sure.
So copyright. So I've written I have a poem that's out there, and I went through the copyright process to make sure all of the verbiage in my poem was protected. So if somebody has some type of literary work, artwork, maybe you're a poet, maybe you're an author, you want to make sure all of that stuff is done. But I want to go back when you said trade name. So let's say if you're on the Maryland Biz Express, if someone's in the Maryland area, again, I'm using this as an example, there is a tab once you set up your account that says reserve trade name. Now that's for that specific state. And a lot of times people get trade name and trademark. They sometimes mingle the two together. So trade name, let's say if you did go on the Maryland Business Express and you reserve that trade name, that's good for that state. If you want to do something nationally, that's the trademark.
Okay. Nancy, thank you, because I didn't know. Did that help anybody? I hope that it did. I didn't know that there was a difference between the trade name and the trademark, or even there is a difference. So there is a difference in the verbiage itself, but I didn't know that there was a difference in how far it went. Like one is just for your state and one is a national thing. So trademark. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Any other things that you want to share with us concerning what you have coming up? Because you have a lot of work. You have a workshop coming up. And the money one, I just missed that one. I can't wait till the next one.
We got another one Thursday night.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. So for anybody that wants that information, tomorrow night I have an exclusive for the women's When Queens Meet group. We're about to close out our last 2 weeks series, but this Thursday night we do have another public session. It's talking about building wealth, right? And how do we build wealth? One of my partners out of the Atlanta area, she has her master's in accounting. We're teaming up, another sister, right, doing business together. Her business is Serenity Financials. And so we're Serenity Financial, CTR Strategy Solutions. We're collaborating. She's going to be talking about tax saving strategies. I'm going to be talking about what are some of those wealth principles and how you can build your wealth over a period of time. And how do you pass it on throughout your family, right? And into the community. So Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be on Zoom. And that's going to be phenomenal. As we enter into the month of April, we will be starting our first Clubhouse. We know Clubhouse has been a buzz going on. So we will, CTR Strategy Solutions will be kicking off our Clubhouse chats starting next week. So that's going to be going on. Also, we will start, we've been monitoring everything that's been going on with COVID, but as we enter more so into the spring and summer, we will go back to doing our live mixers. We used to do a lot of networking events. And so as we enter into the month of May, just be on the lookout for those announcements because we're going to go back to our mixers. It may be more of a smaller, intimate crowd, but we definitely are going to pick it up.
That's awesome because networking is great. You can, like, when you can actually speak to somebody or connect with them and
Mhm.
even just getting their information, it's a boost of inspiration to know that I can connect with XYZ and talk to them about whatever it is. Then the
Mhm.
exchange of information, just
Yeah.
the two or more people, however
Yeah.
many that it is. So
And
that's
then this summer,
awesome.
I almost forgot to mention, I'm sorry, When
Uh-huh.
Queens Meet Retreat. That's this summer.
Mm-hmm.
June the 11th through the 13th, we are going to be at the Gaylord Resort in Kissimmee, Florida. It's just going to be a time where us queens are going to come together. We're going to share. We're going to inspire one another. It's going to be an exchange that's going to take place. And the whole goal at the end of that retreat is that we all walk away knowing our crowns are on our head. You know, that our crowns are fixed. Sometimes when we go through
Right.
life with women, it's just different challenges, whatever. The crown, sometimes I get the topsy turvy, it's kind of going all over the place. Sometimes we take our crown off because we believe we're not that queen, but we are
Right.
that queen. And so that's coming up in June. And any queens that's listening right now, even if you're not able to participate in that, we do something virtual the first Wednesdays of every month. So you can plug into that. It's actually going to be next Wednesday, April 7th. It's the first Wednesday of every month. When Queens Meet is a virtual mixer that you can plug in. And I'm telling you, it's no sizing up of one another. We all are on the same field, right? We're all together. So the energy that you feel when you become a part of When Queens Meet Mixer is a time of sharing, exchange, but also we fix each other crowns, right? And that's what it's about. So if you want to plug into that virtual, you can do that as well.
That's awesome. You know what? And I do suggest for anyone who is listening right now, or you may see this tomorrow or whenever in your leisure, if you have the opportunity to definitely plug into that. All of the upcoming events that Catherine has are on her Facebook page. And once again, her information will be posted on this video, and you'll be able to go to it and contact her or connect with her in every way that you possibly can, and you can get into that privy information as to the dates and times of everything that's going on. The mixers sound great. I can't wait. And then the one that we do have that one coming up next Wednesday. It will be my first one since our initial meeting. So I
Mhm.
can't wait. I'm so much looking forward to that. And you guys, if you are in any way, shape, or form looking to form a business, start a business, you're thinking about business, you need a business plan. You do need a business plan, which just means that you have a foundation and a process and measure of doing things so that things get done in a timely manner. It is a source of accountability as well, which I'll speak for myself. I have been known to like skirmish away from because I don't want my feet held to the fire, but we need that in order to get it out, in order to get to where we're trying to go. So there's not a continual, run in the hamster's wheel, just
Mhm.
over and over, just doing the same old thing, making progress, small progress. It helps you to build and be a little bit better at what your expertise is, right? At what your
Mhm.
expertise, just like Miss Drake was asking, well, I'm great at this and I'm great at that. What are some ways? And having those questions don't mean that you don't have it together. It just means that you
Mhm.
need some help putting the pieces together. As Catherine was
Right.
telling us about, the puzzle, you just need some help putting those puzzle pieces in a more what like I don't know, a conforming manner that kind
Mhm.
of comes out in a way that's kind of plain and it's not all jumbled up. So thank you so much, Catherine. Was there anything else that you wanted to perhaps leave us with
Mhm.
right before you left? I'm sorry, I asked you that, but before what are some things that bring you inspiration and motivation? What is it that you do because I'm telling you,
Mhm.
every time I talk to Catherine, she's like, boom, she's on it. If I'm feeling, and we haven't talked that much, I'm not trying to present that, but I'm just saying whenever we speak, whether it's on the phone, whether it's like this via Zoom, whether it's in the company of others or not, your motivation level is like so high. So I'm so very thankful and gracious to that, because it's contagious, it's infectious. And I mean, last week we all need that. We all need that. Yes, yes. We're gonna put out that Queen information, Peggy. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna put it out there. But what is it that gives you the motivation that you have? You like, just go. You're going, going, going. So what is it? What is it that you have or that you do to tap into that on a daily basis?
Well, I think we was talking offline about it. Something that I recently incorporated in my life starting in February is my workout regimen. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I get up in the morning, and I actually have a coach, and it's 3 other ladies, 6:30 to 7:30. We are, in our training session, right? So that helps pump me up for the day. But I love music also. I make sure I play certain music that is motivating to me, right? That's inspirational to me. And the other thing is, on yesterday, I took some downtime. I think I had shared with you offline. I may have looked at my phone maybe 2 or 3 times, if that. And so you have to learn how to unplug, recharge yourself to move forward again and to continue to build, right? It's super important. One of the other things about my business that I forgot to mention earlier, I'm also a life insurance agent, right? I'm licensed, and I work with individuals to make sure they have the right product, the right vehicle for their family also. So if you don't have a life insurance product that's covering you and your family, definitely make sure that you connect with me on that level. We will do a budget and to make sure that you are connected and make sure you have something proper in place for you and your family. This word of inspiration before we close out is stay the course. And I say stay the course. Have there been times that I wanted to give up? Yes. Have there been times that I just wanted to check out and just like, you know what, I'm done? Yes. We all have come there to that point in our life, including myself. But what bounces me back up is the fact that I know that I have a purpose and you have a purpose as well. You have a mission, you have a call, you're called to do something, right? We're all called to do something. And sometimes if we're not flowing in our call, it will be that thing. I know for me, it'll be that thing that will gnaw away at me if I'm not in my lane, right? And also the other thing that's super important as you're building your business is to make sure you're in proper alignment with whoever you're doing business with, right? Don't always be too hasty with wanting to be in alignment with everyone, because everyone may not be flowing with your purpose and your mission. So you want to make sure that you are in alignment and they are in alignment with you. And sometimes that's a process, right? It's a process to even know who you should do business with. I've had many ups and downs with that, right? And sometimes the only thing that's going to teach you is life, and you go through the process of building your business. So there are going to be challenges. There's going to be ups and downs. I've hit my head against the wall many a times. But through all of that, I had to develop thick skin. And through all of that, I had to realign my focus. So if anyone's watching now or watching later and you feel like, you know what, I started this business, it's not taking off the way I wanted to take off. I want to speak life to you. I want to encourage you that you are called for your business. Your business will resurrect itself. You may feel your business is dead. You may feel that there's no life. There's no transaction going on. There's no business going on. So I want you to look back at your business plan again. If you don't have a business plan, I want you to start working on the business plan. If you need assistance, send me an email, ct@catherinetrotter.com, and I'll assist you with that. But the biggest thing is not to give up. And also to make sure that you have a circle of individuals that you can talk to about your business goals. Accountability is a big thing. That's why sometimes even myself, I'll put out there what I'm trying to do. And if I'm falling short, yeah, someone's going to pull me up and say, well, I thought you was trying to do X, Y, or Z. Right. And we have to have those individuals in our circle that's going to hold us accountable so we can continue to move forward and continue to build. Miss Drake said, I really needed this. Thank you. Well, thank you, Miss Drake, for even being a part of this tonight. Thank you, Miss Peggy. Thank all the individuals that was tuning in. We have Miss Tiffany. Thank you for you had tuned in earlier. And anyone that's going to watch this replay. But more importantly, I want to give Miss Cat a shout out. Miss Cat is doing phenomenal phenomenal things every Monday night. So I want everyone to support Miss Cat. You see in the banner at the bottom, you see her information. We want you to subscribe to her page. We want you to share her page and make sure you plug and let everybody know what Miss Cat is doing. You see at the scroll that's going by, you see her email, catwellnesscoach1@gmail.com. Support Miss Cat. Support what she's doing. She has a heart of gold. I've only met her, known her for some short time, but in the short time I have known her, she has a heart of gold. So we want to give love back to Miss Cat and her everything she's doing every Monday night. So when you see her go live, plug in and support, share her page, right? And let's continue to encourage one another, and we're going to see everybody at the top. Know that the best is yet to come. Even though you may experience some challenges, you may experience a roadblock, but this is not your end. This is only the beginning. April 1st is on Thursday. Use these last couple of days to refocus and go into the month of April recharged with a clear vision, a clear focus on what you're going to do, right? Make sure you also speak life to someone else as we close out this month and as we thrust into the month of April. Continue to speak life to someone else. Continue to speak life to your family, and we're going to see everybody at the top. Everybody have a good night.
Yay! Thank you, Queen, so very much. You guys, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, and thank you so much, Tamika and Miss Drake. Thank you guys so much. I definitely truly appreciate it. I appreciate your words of wisdom. And this is what I'm talking about. She's like every day, all day. You know, of course, it's not perfect 100% all day, every day. I'm saying that, but you know what? By and far, we just need each other. We, especially in times like this in life, we're supposed to be together. There needs to be connection. We need to be just holding each other up. We are each other's keepers. Her information that she has, the expertise that she has, she's accountable to let other people know everything that she knows, because it's not just the whole all to yourself. But my love for people and encouragement, just as yours for people, and love and encouragement and business strategy and all of the plethora of things that you're doing, that we're all doing. It's not just for me. If I held it all in, I think I would bust like a bubble. It's not for us to hold to ourselves. It's for us to give out to one another, not in a way that is spiteful or envious or conniving, but in a way that is loving, that is gentle, that is kind. You know where we come from. You know where our roots are. You know what it is. And thank you so very much for imparting to us all of this information, all of the wisdom that we had time to crunch into 1 hour, you guys. And there's so much more where that came from. Thank you so very much. Miss Drake is going to be contacting you for sure. If there's anyone else, we're going to give it till, let's say, Saturday. There's one other 30-minute business strategy moment that you can take with Miss Catherine to let her see your layout, tell her your plan, or get her to make a plan, to lay some foundation work. And you guys, it's a partnership. She just told us here right now, you know, when she connects with people, it's a partnership, and she's with you, you know, partnering with you to go look to reach the top. And she says that's something that her mantra that she says each and every time, and I believe it is true. And I pray that it is helpful to each and every. Thank you so much, Catherine, for joining us. Thank you for your time, for your expertise, and all of those things. We will see each other again tomorrow. No.
Yeah, for the Win Queens, yes. For the
tomorrow. Tomorrow. We have our meeting tomorrow, so we will see each other tomorrow. See, I was taking off a little bit because we didn't have it last week. But we're having it tomorrow, and I'm so thankful. I look so forward to meeting up with all the queens. Look, we missed each other. We was like emailing each other. We missed each other. It was like, oh no! But when the wheels get turning and we all get together, it is such a wonderful and nice thing. Catherine's information, once again, so that you know, will be in the comment section, comment area of this video, of this interview. This wonderful sound information that she shared with us today. Such a beautiful person, a beautiful individual. Thank you so, so very much for sharing with us on tonight, Catherine. And I will see you on tomorrow night. We will touch base, but maybe even in between times. But thank you so much.
Yes.
We pray that you have a great, great night. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye. You guys, I pray that you were also so filled like with all of the information that Catherine had to share with us. I am so inspired by her and motivated by her each and every time I talk to her. And it's just like that. You just get it. Like there's never any no you can, or no you won't, or why not do this, or and that's not even a bad thing, saying why not do that. But she has a way of communicating with you in such a way that it's like, no, we can do this. It's no problem. We can do this. It's just the working around it, how to get to your end goal. And she definitely helps you work through things, push through things, and challenges you too, so that you can make some decisions and come to some fruitions on your own self. I just had a few things I wanted to shout out. I received notice of a Creative Writers Summit that is coming up on July 31st. It is for women ages 18 to 25. Is what will probably be consensus of those who will attend and who will get the most out of this Writers Summit. Not to say that nobody else shouldn't call or have questions toward it, but that is the age group that was stated in the remarks. It is hosted by Morgan Banks, and you can contact her at, if you are interested, contact her at Morgan at Capri, CAPRI, ctrstrategysolutions.com. This information will be in the comment section as well, as will Catherine's information also. Morgan at Capri ctrstrategysolutions.com. If you're interested in starting to write, it's like a summit and seminar, a one-day summit seminar for helping get over writer's block, or help us move from thinking to feeling to writing and putting it all out in a pliable form of a book. Authorship could be journal or what have you, but definitely speak with Morgan Banks concerning that. There are vending and sponsorship opportunities available as well, so contact her on any of those fronts if you want to be a part of the summit as a creative writer. If you would like to be a vendor, if you would like to be a sponsor, please contact her. Once again, her information will be in the bottom portion in the comment section of this video, of this episode of Chat with Cat. And I do look forward to seeing you guys on next Monday. And right off the top of my head, I cannot recall, but I do have a guest for next Monday. I'll start getting the information out to you as soon as I have a banner done and all of those great things. Please, yes, subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you guys every single Monday. Thank you so much for your support. I thank Catherine from the bottom of my heart for her most kind words. It's just an honor. It's just an honor and a pleasure to speak with people, to sit down and chat, to sit down and get to know you on a level that is a little bit deeper than the regular whole hum of knowing who you are, learning of your businesses, because there's excellence in each and every one of us. There's excellence in you, and I look forward to connecting to you so that you can tell me about your business, so you can sit here with me, Chat with Cat and friends, and let us know how your business is going, what it is that you do, what's your inspiration. Tell us your why. Everybody doesn't get that privy information. You know, they come into your shop, your store, your boutique, or your organization, and that information isn't there. So this is an outlet to give you a voice to speak to those things, so that people know who you are and what you're about and why you, I don't know, why you have a bakery, why you, I don't know, make the clothes that you make, whatever the case may be, why the organization, why you begun the organization that you've begun, and why it means so much to you. That's what this platform is for. And I'll be around. We're going to be expanding and evolving. I pray that you look, as I put in my post earlier, that you just join me and hold on tight, because it's going to be a ride, and I'm well in with it, and I'm looking forward to it with you guys and with everyone. So thank you so much for joining this episode of the Chat with Kat and Friends. The Chat with Kat and Friends. I thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on next Monday. Have a great, awesome night. Have a wonderful and fantabulous week. Be determined, be mindful, and be aware. Lay your foundation. Get your blueprint laid for your business. I'll see you guys later and chat with you then. Bye. Have a great night.